Hello everybody and welcome to Fryar on Fire. I'm Nate and I'm here to discuss a whole bunch of political issues, topics you see on the news, and rant and rave about just about anything I can think of. This is mainly to blow off some steam, but it might be quite informative for a lot of you out there, so I hope you guys actually enjoy this. I hope to get this on video here very soon, probably at least by the third broadcast. And, well, I may not, depending on how well this works out. So please feel free to leave a review. So get the White House political agenda out of your mind, sit back, relax, crack open a cold one for me, and let's get this show on the road. You're about to enter the Firestorm. Umar Abdul Muttalib, I think that's how you say it, tried to give us a few extra fireworks on Christmas Eve, but thanks to a man who I will call a true patriot and a national hero, he failed. It's about damn time. We never see someone who will stand up for what's right and take out someone who's trying to do harm to our country. Our men and women of the armed forces are an exception to that statement, though. These days, people just sit by, scared stiff at the thought that anyone would do anything to harm another person. Wake up, people. It's an ugly world, and if we don't stand up for ourselves, we're going to find ourselves either A, getting cremated about 0.2 seconds after we die, or B, crashing to the ground in a burning heap of metal which will inevitably crash into a widely populated area, taking out even more innocent lives. Point is, stand up for yourself, your country, and your life. The big debate right now is how we can prevent this from happening again. Many people I've talked to aren't worried because it was just a
systemical error.
Just because our president thinks he's found the root of the problem doesn't mean that the problem doesn't exist. The threat to our security as a nation and as a people is very real. And here we are arguing about how we should attempt to keep this threat from getting into our country while maintaining our privacy. I personally am ready to go through a full body scanner, profiling, and even a pat-down if it means that these terrorists have to go through the same thing. We must protect our people, and we must stop these radical idealists. So the question comes up, why don't we stop these guys? Privacy. Privacy is the big topic of the debate. I'm not trying to get into gender politics here, but the truth of the matter is that pretty much all men have no problem with a scan or a pat-down. Women, on the other hand, are concerned about having their full outline shown to an airport security guard. Here's my solution. Profile first. Run an ID search through a large database of no-fly lists, potential threat lists, and even a list of those who've never flown into or around the country before. If the name comes up, scan them in a secluded area. If the scan shows something, allow them to choose whether a male or female officer will pat them down. Take them to a private room and proceed. That solves a few problems. First, if the person flying is not a threat, they only have to go through the metal detector as usual. Second, if the person is a threat or has never flown before, privacy is still maintained while keeping our people safe. Third, if it does come down to a pat-down, the person still has a bit of a privacy option. Oh yes, and for the record, for those of you out there who are probably saying, well, I've never flown before, how's that fair? I've never flown before either, and this is my solution, so shut up. I'm sure the next issue that's brought up will be the privacy of female officers if a male passenger requests a female pat-down. Very simply, if a female officer feels uncomfortable patting down a male passenger, that officer should relay her concerns to her supervisor, who then should do it his or herself, or assign a more seasoned officer to do the job. To prevent any liabilities while the pat-down is occurring, make sure that there is a secluded camera in the private room at all times. Ladies and gentlemen, no matter how much the White House tries to sugarcoat it for us, we are fighting a war. That's the ugliest word in the English dictionary. You know, if we don't fight, we'll lose. How many of you still have the tragedy of 9/11 drilled into your mind? I didn't have any family or friends in the actual occurrence, but my blood boiled even at the age of 11. I woke up late curious why my mom didn't wake me up to start the school day. Walked into the living room to see my mom's eyes glued to the TV and a phone glued to her ear with my dad on the other end of the line. I turned to the TV just in time to see the second plane bash into the tower. And that was when I realized the harsh cruelty of the world, when some turban-wearing, hairy-faced moron crashed our own jet into a heavy populated area in the busiest city in the U.S. I ran outside, grabbed a flag and a ladder, and mounted the stars and stripes atop our roof for all the world to see. Now, for those of you against the war, more power to you. I do not support the war. As a matter of fact, I hate the damn thing. And I can't stand the thought of someone I love being sent over to Iraq or Afghanistan. But I do support those who are in the war zone. I have not joined the armed forces myself, but I give them all the support in the world. And rest assured, if the draft is ever issued, I will proudly grab my assault rifle and march into the desert with fire in my eyes and the national anthem in my heart. But until I am called to arms by my country, I won't go. I encourage you, no matter if you support the war or not, to support our troops. They're fighting for your safety and your freedom to tell your neighbor how stupid they all are for getting involved. Does anyone else see something wrong with that? The point is, even if you don't support our cause, support our people. Is there no patriotism anymore? Is there no love for our homeland? Let me tell you something right now. If you don't support America, get out. Free up a job for someone who cares. Now, apparently this guy was born right here at home and has turned to Al-Qaeda. And experts say he could be even more dangerous than Osama bin Laden. You know what? I completely agree. Plus, this guy knows all about our way of life, our mannerisms, knows our language quite well. We can only maintain so many fronts at once. I believe that one front will just be there to serve as a distraction for the other. My last topic for this session. It disgusts me when I talk to people close to my age who have no idea what's going on in the world. Sometimes we'll get into the discussion of who we voted for. Of course, no one is forced into saying, but most people my age I talk to say they cast the Obama-Biden ticket. Sometimes I'll ask why, and here's what I get. Because that's what my parents voted. Or, I don't know, I thought a black president would be cool. Or get this one. I guess I just marked one. Does anybody else's stomach churn at these responses? I can respect someone voting for Obama as long as their decision was informed. If they truly believed what he said, if they knew what he stood for, and they knew what he was all about, then I will shake your hand for voting for him. It doesn't matter if you're voting Democrat, Republican, Green Party, Libertarian, Independent, whatever. If your vote is uninformed, if you cast that ballot without knowing anything about the candidate that you're marking down, then you're no better than those idiots at Acorn. Well, that's all for now. I'm out of coffee and out of thoughts. Thanks for putting up with my totally biased, completely right-wing, absolutely patriotic rants and ravings, though. I look forward to hearing your thoughts, good or bad, and I hope you'll keep track of this. I'll be posting at least once a week, or try to, with my thoughts on developing news topics, national security, the general well-being of our nation and people as a whole. And I warn you, the next edition is going to be much more targeted on certain people in the presidential cabinet and Congress. Let that star-spangled banner wave over the land of the free and the home of the brave. This is Nate Fryar, signing off.